Good evening and welcome to another edition of the curriculum. Tonight we'll look at parental responsibility and children's education in Cape Coast Metropolis. Parents and guardians are responsible morally and legally for the well-being of their children, especially when it comes to education. In Cape Coast Municipality, for example, parental neglect is a dire concern for the people of Cape Coast. And tonight we look at what the issues are and what accounts for this, especially the contributing to this parental neglect is the abysmal performance of BECE, where the people have attested to the fact that parental neglect is one of the problems which is contributing to the abysmal performance of BECE in Cape Coast Municipality. Joining me in the studio tonight to discuss the issues and other issues that are underlining education in Cape Coast Municipality is Mr. Thomas Yallow. He's an opinion leader from Oguaa Traditional Area, Cape Coast. Next to Mr. Yallow, I have Madam Mary Hammond. She is joining us from Accra here, the Girls Education Unit, Ghana Education Service. I also have with me Mr. Moses Avutor. He also joins us from Cape Coast, which is on what we're discussing tonight, education in Cape Coast. He is an educationist. Before I start with you, Mr. Yallow, let me inform listeners that we will be opening our lines, our studio lines, for you to contribute to the discussion tonight. We will we will let you know what that number is. But for our social media friends, you can send us messages on 0505 311879. That's 0505 311879. That's our WhatsApp number. And for those of you using Twitter, you can join us via Twitter on hashtag CurriculumGH and follow our handle at CurriculumGH. Now, the issue for discussion here tonight is parental responsibility and children's education in Cape Coast. Mr. Yallow, what are parents expected to do? Let's look at responsibilities. What are parents expected to do when it comes to children education, when you talk about child maintenance? Let's look at it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Before I will start, let me greet my Omahin, Sabarima Kwisata, Omahin of Oguaa Tradition Area, and the good people of Oguaa, that's Cape Coast. I think we are preparing to celebrate our 50th anniversary of our Pedu affair. So I greet everybody in Cape Coast. Auntie Rebecca, I'm happy for this question. You know, as parents, we have a huge responsibility to bring up our children. The state has come out with so many laws, of which we the parents do not even know the laws govern the rights. We have Children's Act at 560. In our 1992 Constitution, Article 28, we have children's rights. And others, even at 29 in 60s, we have those children's rights. But it seems most of the parents who don't know these acts. That's why we refuse to look after our children. Even in Act 560, it talks about as soon as a woman gives birth, even the naming, the Children's Act talks about it. But most of the men, they are at fault. You bring up a child, you have to take care of the child from the infancy. You know, our school system has changed. Now, a child can start school at the age of 2 years. Nursery 1, Nursery 2, KG1, KG2, and then Primary 1. So from there, you have to start from there. But the parents, we are not doing it. But the responsibility of taking care of the children is not one person. I will say that I congratulate our women because they are doing well in terms of caring for our children. But most of us men, we are default. We are default. We send a child to school. We're supposed to provide certain basic amenities, even breakfast for the child. We men, even we don't know how the children eat when they go to school. When they go to school, they need certain amenities like chalk, pencils, books. Then we men, some of us, even we don't know. So me, I will attribute the parental care to the men. We are defaulting. You see, the woman, they would try as much as possible to provide certain basics. But if men, we support them, I think we can bring up children.
Let's go to the next man on the panel, Mr. Avutor. Mr. Yallow has clearly pushed the blame to the area of the men. We will be going into why that is, why the men are shaking their responsibilities. But from where you sit, what do you think are the responsibilities? What is expected of the men when it comes to issues of welfare?
Let me also use the platform to extend my greetings to the communities in Cape Coast. I think the responsibility of parents is first of all to provide all the things that can make the child learn. They should be able to provide meals, food. No child should go to school without anything in the tummy. Parents should provide uniforms. By uniforms, I mean decent uniforms. Something that the child should feel in it. To feel that, yes, I'm decently dressed, and so, therefore, I can go to school and learn. And then, if the child, the school is not immediate, then there should also be a means of transport that can take the child to school. Then there is also the need for stationery, pens, pencils, books, erasers, and what have you, that the child will enable the child to learn in the classroom and write assignments. I think basically these are some of the things that we parents should provide.
Madam Hammond, coming from the Girls Education Unit, what would you see as the parent responsibility when it comes to decision-making processes of children's education?
I listen to the gentleman. I think when it comes to the education of the child, either the boy or the girl, it's not just about the provisions of the food, stationery, and all those things. It goes more beyond that. For instance, some children are sent to some schools. Are they even ready to be in school? Are they prepared to be in school? Were the children consulted before they're even sent to the schools they've been sent to? And I think parents, it's about time they allowed the children also in start decision making. Let me cite an example. You go to some schools in some communities, and as they rightly said, children are sent there hungry, in tattered clothes, yet other children from the same community, they have all other things. So why can't we also why don't we also benefit from the things the others are benefiting from? And when it comes to seeking the children's opinion in their education, I said that earlier, I think the children must be involved. Again, I'll go back to putting children in schools where they think they don't want to be there. They don't belong there. They don't belong there because if you cannot provide the basic needs, then I shouldn't be in school then. I must as well remain home. So the reason I'm asking whether parents even consult the children, whether they seek their opinion, they are ready to be in school. Because I'm sure if we should ask such children, he's sending them to school, they may ask you, Mommy, Daddy, are you ready to provide everything? And if yes, then they accept it. Then they are involved. They've been part of this issue. But otherwise, I don't see why parents should just send children to school without first seeking their opinion.
Mr. Avutor, do we consult our children before we send them to school and ask them if they want to be in school?
Generally, we do not. But some people do. For instance, I teach in a secondary school in the central region. By my second boy's school, I pre-sec and completed this year because what I did, I brought him down, I sat him down, discussed the issues with him, and there was no other school that he wanted to go but pre-sec. So he came all the way from Cape Coast to pre-sec. So some people do, but generally, majority do not.
Yeah, Mr. Yallow, what I'm getting from here is that there's more to just sending a child to school. When it comes to the, robotic thing, it's time to go to school, going to school. But there's more to it. Is the child ready? Is the child ready? Have you consulted the child? Have you provided this or that? It's not just the provision. But the issue of counseling, the issue of supervision, child psychology, and things like that.
Madam,
how would you respond to that?
I will differ from Madam from a certain point. Because we know our education system. They are saying that education in our country now start from the nursery. Start from the nursery. So can we consult a boy or girl 2 years? Can we consult? What they are talking, my colleagues are talking, the secondary school or even getting to the upper primary, etc. But a girl or boy, you have to wait until you consult the girl or boy, say that, Adwa, Kwesi, I want to take you to school. A boy of 2 years, you can't consult. So if you start at early, they will get the interest. What we are saying is, is for the secondary school, the one they are picking, the secondary school and so on, that you consult. And even that one, the consultation should be the child and then the teacher to know the subject area the guy is going to do at school. But a boy or girl, they are in the education system.
Madam is shaking her head in disagreement.
Yes, because I cannot consult a 2-year baby.
Let her
operational, yes.
what she meant by consultation.
Yes.
Because I don't think consult is necessarily asking. But there's more to body language and other things when the child comes home.
I want Madam to explain.
Thank you for that. Consultation. Sometimes you just observe the child. If a child is ready for school, you see it. Sometimes you just observe the child. There are many children sent to school, and they are repeated and repeated and repeated in the class, even right from the beginning. KG, now we have the basic education, starting with the KG child. At age 4, 5, 6, the child is in P1. If your child is ready to enter school, you know. You have a child at age 4. And excuse me, the child can't even change his or her own panty. The child can't say a word. The child can't say ba. And you send the child straight to P1 up. It means there's something not right. You see, maybe the child should be in a different class of schooling. You understand? And that is why we are now talking more, emphasizing on the all-inclusive education. The child might have some challenges that needed to be identified before the child is put into the school. So just observing the child, studying critically the child, you know when the child is ready to school. When the child begins to say certain words, when the child begins to even come up with certain things, sometimes you see them carrying books or trying to say rhymes, you know this child is ready to learn, to be in school. But the fact that the child is, let's say, 2 years or 4 years, it doesn't mean the child is ready to be pushed in school. So that is the consultation I'm talking about.
I want to. So, Madam, you are in the GES. So, the introduction of this creche, nursery, I think that one prepares the child That's my label point of view.
It's supposed to.
It's
It's
supposed to.
supposed to.
Yes, it's supposed to prepare. So why they introduce
Good.
all this?
The GES, I said basic education starts from KG.
I agree.
The creches are for the social welfare. It's for the babies who are, they still prepare the children. But that's what I'm saying, that when the child at age 4, before you send the child to the KG, I mean, you see certain things about the child, and you know this child is ready to go to school. Some may be faster, earlier. Some may be later. This is what I want to say. You know, children develop at different stages at different times. Some at age 14 can just rattle everything, say everything. Age 4. Some at age 6. So the policy says the child should be in school. And at age 6, the child can still not say ba. So, thank you. It doesn't mean the child is ready to go to school. Even if the child should be in school, as I said, there's other schools. You can also put them in. That is what I'm saying.
So in addressing the issues of what is accounting for why some pupils are not performing in school, because
Yes,
that's what we're talking about
exactly.
here in Cape Coast, some of these issues are not properly identified.
Not identified.
Okay. So in your case, you're saying that if you find out that a child is not ready,
You don't take the child to the mainstream school.
The alternative.
We have other schools, such as I wouldn't like to say the special needs schools, but we have special needs schools there. Because I know we have
Yes, we have special schools.
good.
So you
You can take the child to the special needs school, because we have guidance and counseling officers in all our educational. They will counsel the parents and they will tell you where to place the child.
And then Mr. Avutor identified issues where people you have to provide transport, you have to provide things like that. How do you get the parents to do what they need to do in providing transport, in providing food, providing clothing? You did identify some of those things which are responsibility. That's you need to provide as a parent to your child.
Could I come back a little bit to Madam's issue before we move?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was looking at, maybe she's looking at the ideal situation. We are in an environment where majority of us are illiterate. How can an illiterate parent identify the readiness of the child?
I think this is the simplest thing every mother and every father can easily find out. Provide, I said, observation. If you're observing your child, as the child develops, you're able to tell, the mental growth of the child. And even at the clinics, they have areas for such children. They tell this child has a low development. The child is developing mentally at a very lower or a slower pace. And they may direct and then advise in what to do. As for that, I don't think you need to be in school before you can tell when your child is slow learner or developing late or something. Not every mother, that's the easiest. I'm not surprised, the men will not know.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, Mr. Avutor, can you answer that question? The question that I threw to you.
That
How do you get the men to, or not the men in this case, but parents in general, to respond to those provisions, as in food which you identify, clothing, transport, which are necessary in helping the child to stay in school?
I think once, as Madam clearly stated, once you want your child to go to school, then definitely you should know what are the things that will enable him or her go to school and remain in school and learn. And so you should be prepared. Maybe as parents, the two of you can sit down and possibly invite whoever is going to school. This reminds me of what we learned in With No Child. Yeah, they brought the guy, sat him down. Oh, we want you to go to school. What do you say? They say, well, I'm willing. I want to go. So all the other things that will propel the boy or girl to go to school, the parents should discuss it there. And maybe how such things can be realized. You should also look at those things.
To pick up on that, parents should discuss it. Mr. Yallow mentioned that the men are not there. We all know, an example of Cape Coast, which we are discussing, the men are not there in the lives of the children.
Some men.
Some men.
Some men.
Majority of them.
Some men.
Majority, some,
Yes.
some, most, the men are not there. So, Mr. Yallow, that's a light off, but we'll come back.
Yes.
We'll keep rolling. The men are not there. Why are the men not there?
See, what I want GS, what I want GS also to maybe come out, maybe as a policy. You know, the state has so many institutions. In fact, when you were introducing, you said opinion leader from Cape Coast. But let me also say that I'm an NCC staff. And then we educate the citizenry to know their rights and their responsibilities. So what I'm going to suggest is that the GES should collaborate with NCCE, even to attend their PTA meetings. Because when they come to the PTA meetings, they only discuss how they are going to collect or increase fees or propose PTA dues, etc.
So is that why you don't turn up? And you
No.
send the children?
Yes, you should. No, at that meeting, you know, some are illiterate. Some are illiterate when it comes to Cape Coast. Most of the parents are illiterate. So at that PTA meeting, if we invite an NCC man there to educate the parents, to know their rights and their responsibility, the need for us to take care of our children. Some they don't know anything. They just go to a PTA and listen how much they should supposed to pay. But they should understand the reason why they should cater for their children.
Mr. Yallow, I beg to differ on this issue, because one of the things that you said was that there are so many laws, but people are not following the laws. There are laws protecting the children, there are laws
Children's rights and their
and responsibilities. Who are supposed to educate people on these laws? Is it not the NCC?
It's the NCC, and we are doing it. But we are doing it. But I'm saying that at a PTA meeting, we are doing it at the various communities, schools, etc. I'm not talking officially in my capacity, but I'm bringing in this because of the work I do. Now, I'm suggesting to the GES to collaborate with the NCCE and then the school heads. Anytime they have PTA meeting, they can invite the NCCE.
I come in here.
Okay.
The PTA is Parent Teachers Association. So it has to do with children, parents with what children in the schools. Good. Supposing the whole school community don't have anybody, parents working with NCC, but you are a member of the community. The school is in the community. The school is for the community. You have every right to work in there. We don't need to set up we don't need to. Apart from that, we have another one, the School Management Committee, the SMC. Those ones, I mean, the community is there. They run the schools, more or less. They manage the schools. Again, coming back to your first statement, look, I have always said that, come on, when it comes to parenthood, I mean, you decide, I want to be a parent. And once you have said that, the moment you enter into the room, doesn't mean you should come up with a child. But once you agree, you are going to have a child, you are ready to parent the child. And it takes two. It takes the woman and the man. So again, why do you run away from the responsibility? You do the naming, as you rightly said, and that is the end.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, that we have laws. We have laws in this country. So if the women, they are saying the men, I have said it already, we are not responsible for, they have to pass through the proper, yes.
So the men to be sanctioned.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
oh yes, I agree with that. I agree with that, madam. I agree with that. For us to become responsible. Yeah, madam, let me give you this example. Madam, I'm coming.
We will take your example in a moment. We'll have to take a break briefly. What we'll be doing is that we'll be looking at the footage stuff. For those who did not watch the documentary yesterday on the curriculum, we'll be showing a little bit of the footage for them to see exactly what we picked up from Cape Coast and the issues regarding affecting the performance of pupils in BEC, the poor performance of pupils in BEC. Parental neglect is one of them. Economic hardships is what they are attributing, but when it comes to that, it's debatable. Let's take a quick break. Welcome back. You've been watching footage that we picked up from Cape Coast. This is the curriculum. We are discussing parental responsibility and children's education in Cape Coast. This has been brought to us with courtesy from Star Ghana, strengthening transparency, accountability, and responsiveness in Ghana. We are here discussing parental responsibility and children's education. In the studio, I have with me Mary Hammond. She's with the Girls Education Unit DS here in Accra. Moses Kwame, Avutor, an educationist from Cape Coast. Thomas Yallow, he's an opinion leader and from the Oguaa traditional area in Cape Coast. Now, we picked up, it's about the girl child. Madam Hammond said, everything is about the girl child. Is that not amazing that a man and a woman will have a child, and at the end of the day, the men are absent, and then at the end of the day, the girl child is also in trouble? What kind of future are we expecting to have for our women? What kind of a future, Mr. Avutor?
I think from what we saw, it's a clear indication of what pertains in our culture. Culturally, there are certain things that men are not supposed to do. They are not supposed to carry things on their head, sit by the roadside and sell, just as the girl child. But like you clearly said, it's a very serious issue. If the one who cares, the lady who cares, is treated this way, we should rather prepare her fully, completely, holistically, So that if the men backslide, sit on the fence, then she could go ahead and show that the responsibility is squarely. That's what I feel.
Yeah, one of the arguments have been that Cape Coast is fairly economically low when it comes to, the poverty is the issue, which is why some parents cannot care for their children, so they have to send their children out to care for themselves, or the children have to fend for themselves. I don't know if that's the right argument, Madam.
Can be the right argument. Just as I just ended, I said that it takes two to make a child, and you decide to have a child before you go in to have a child, because otherwise you can always prevent it from happening. But once you agree to have a child, then it means you are ready to take the entire responsibility of the child, raising the child. But then, as Supi said, the men seem to be so busy. Only God knows what they are busy with, whatever they are doing out there. They leave in the mornings, he said it, and they come so late, and they want to be served. And the poor girl is playing the role of a mother and a girl. A mother and a child at the same time. Because the girl has to support the mother. If the mother is in any trade, the girl has to support the mother on the market, wherever, just to support the home. The girl again stays with the mother to prepare the food, the meal and whatever, and serve the father, who just comes in to cross the legs and eat. And then what did you also say? They fetch you water for your bath, and the girl, because men shouldn't carry, because they have the egg there, they can't carry. So then they will also fetch the water for them. After doing it all, and they enter class, they are writing the same course, and you expect the girl to pass.
How will the child perform?
The child, you don't expect the girl to perform.
So these issues are contributing to the abysmal
All these
performance of BC.
The extra roles that girls, especially the girl child, are pushed into. They are forced to take responsibility. Those that are nowhere theirs, adding up to their period of study. So of course, they can perform. They will never perform.
Yallow, one thing you mentioned in the documentary was that the parents do that intentionally, the men. Can you explain what you mean
That's why
by
I said
that?
that's intentional. Let me give you this. If you're not in Cape Coast, when I was at NCC, the organized program at one. The next day, I was at my office, and a young girl came at, Uncle, the program you did, I want to come and report my father. Because father doesn't take care. I send the girl to Shrike. They are in opposite. Our offices are opposite. So the Shrike issued them. When the man came, you know the work the man does. The man is a teacher working at the GES district office at Sinfusu. Be irresponsible. So from there, the man started. That's what I'm saying, that the state has provided all avenues. So if you are a woman and then the man, madam said that it takes the two to give birth. If the man is not responsible, madam, let's take the men into.
Let's find out from it. Our society, our culture, does it allow this? How many women can walk to wherever and report their husbands? These same big opinion leaders will say, you marry this woman, the next time they will ask the woman to pack out the house. And then another woman who can tolerate it will come in. And when you are leaving, you live with your children.
And that's why I'm always saying.
That the men do it intentionally.
They do it intentionally.
That's what I'm
because
saying.
they know when the women cannot report. Women are always saving their marriages because of the children.
Madam, that's
so
why men we are doing that too.
Cannot report.
Because of that we are doing that too. Because of you
but Mr. Yallow.
That's why we are doing that.
Which behavior? Which behavior?
You see, even, not there. A man would be irresponsible. in the community or in the house, and when the man dead, the woman, hey, my child father has died, and then they will do all customary things to go and marry them. So next time any man will do that. So let's take action against the men. Madam,
So,
that's my point.
Mr. Yallow is saying that let's not keep quiet on these issues, especially the women. The women must be more responsive to taking action on a man who is not in the child's life.
But the laws are clear.
The laws are clear. And again, you said, how many women even know what you say in the law? You know, the first place to go will be to the opinion leaders, the traditional one. And they will settle it there. And they will threaten you. Now the impudent to come here and talk to us about your husband, to report your husband. What kind of woman are you then? This is not the woman to be married to. The next time they find a wife for the husband. So women, of course, women will shut up. Because if you report this husband and whatever sanction is given, whatever is done, and you are worked up, you are taken up, where do you sleep? Where do you go with the children? You know, we don't have, the state has no such places, shelter to take such women. So you rather keep quiet and sleep there and serve as a slave.
I don't think that has to continue, madam.
It's about time.
Let's look at this issue of children engaging in premarital sex, resulting in teenage pregnancy. We saw in the documentary, you know, we were in Cape Coast, one of the schools which I would not want to mention. You know, this girl struggling to try to, you know, finish up and to write a BC, heavily pregnant, very young. But you could see that she was determined. And then there was a scenario, one of the girls had been absent from the school for a number of days. And she came and we attempted to try to get information, solicit with the help of the teacher. And some of the information that we got, very depressing. The girl apparently is in a home where the father is married to another woman. And apparently the man is also attempting to sleep with this child. So the child has been missing. And this is a very familiar story for our women who are into this child counseling and things like that. This is nothing new. And so the issue all comes together. The men do it intentionally. And this girl is boxed in and she's so much afraid. She's not coming to school. And we know what the end will be. Either she's pregnant, she drops out, and the cycle continues, and then the blame continues. And yet we want the people to perform, and yet we are in a place we are always blaming somebody, government or somebody is not doing something. How can some of these issues be addressed, Mr. Avutor?
I think, like Madam clearly stated, it takes two to bring forth a child. And once you go in there, you should know what you are going in for. And so, for me, I think before the children even come out, you are telling the whole world that you are prepared. Then, when the child comes out, then the support systems should be there. Like Mr. Yaro said, maybe the first thing is the law should take them on. If you are not doing the right thing, and you are not aware or you are doing it intentionally, you should be forced to do the right thing. But I schooled in Central Region, especially my degree programs, and you realize that, you see, when the university students come in, the way our ladies also entertain them, and when they leave the children with them to also be looked at critically.
That's for another discussion.
That's what
That's what, but if you round up your thoughts.
And then again, like Madam said, prevention can also do. I don't know, Mr. Avutor. Why do I get pregnant for him? If perhaps I don't even know he's going to marry me, or he already has a wife. All these things come into play. We don't take our life seriously. Most ladies do not take their life seriously. Maybe because of the poverty.
So now it's the women who have to carry the blame.
Yes, sir.
It's because of them. That's why this is happening. from your submission,
yes,
Mr. Avutor.
They
But the men do it intentionally.
Intentionally, yes. Intentionally.
Interesting. But anyway, the topic for discussion: parental responsibility, quality education in Cape Coast. We all know that Cape Coast supposedly is supposed to be the cradle of knowledge, where everybody knows that education began. But unfortunately, basic education is on the lower level. Performance is almost zeros every time in BC, abysmal. And we're discussing issues and exploring some of the factors contributing to why this is so and how it can be addressed. Now, we've had some people coming in here talking to us via social media. I have someone here saying his name is Harry O. His comment is that many parents do not consult. I believe he's responding to Madam Hammond. Many parents do not consult. No counseling is done. Children only obey, especially when it's time to close school, to choose schools and courses. The only way to identify children's readiness is by visiting schools to see how children are performing too. Some parents don't even go to the school after their wards have been admitted. We will come to that issue of PTAs. Parents do not attend PTAs. I understand the men don't even show up at all. And anyway, we're opening the phone lines to get our listeners and viewers to contribute. The phone line, the number is 020-1064-875. That's 020-1064-875. You can call that line, contribute to our discussion. It's the curriculum by courtesy of Star Ghana. You can contribute to the debate. We're talking about falling standards of basic education in Cape Coast, parental neglect, and how we can get our parents to be more responsible and responsive to our children's education for the future. And I have a caller on the line. Hello.
Well,
Hello.
hello, my name is Kwame.
Hello.
My name is Hello. I'm calling from Accra.
Takrady, what's your name?
My name is Lee.
Your name?
But some parents try a lot. Some fathers try a lot. Not all of them are easy. So I beg you, some fathers, they try. They try a lot. So the women's schools will put their feet down to help their fathers. We will advise them more. They can still do better. That is what I can say. The fathers, some of them try, but some of them not try.
Thank you very much, Takrady. I did not get your name there, but the caller from Takrady is contributing to our discussion. He's saying that some fathers try. He's speaking for the fathers. Women, please speak up. He's speaking up for the fathers. He's saying some fathers try, so the women, some fathers try, so the women must support. Women, please. We have another call on the line. Hello. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening, I'm Patrick. I'm calling from Sunyani.
Sunyani, what's your name?
I'm Patrick, please.
Patrick. Patrick, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, I like the discussion that you are making this evening.
All right. Okay, I think we lost Patrick. Patrick is saying that he likes the discussion. Patrick from Sunyani is contributing, and he's saying that he likes the discussion. But we didn't hear any other thing. I think we lost him there. But again, the line, you can always call back in. 0201-064-875 is the number to call. We have a call on the line. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Yes, go ahead. You're on air. Your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, this is Bright, actually. Second from Volta region, Supa.
Right. Which part of the Volta region are you calling from?
Well, I'm talking from Angloga.
Angloga. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. To be frank, frankly speaking, our mothers are trying a lot. Our mothers are trying a lot. But if you look at our lives, you see that some of the children don't listen and don't respect our life. we have to take care of our lives, and then maybe I think with this we can control our lives. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm well with what you're doing.
Thank you very much, Bright from the Volta region. He's saying that the women are trying a lot, the mothers are trying. He's supporting the mothers here in this discussion. They're trying a lot, and there's a need to respect their wives and take care of them, so that, of course, they can also help in contributing to support their children in school, I believe. Okay, we have someone else coming in. Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Your name and where you're coming from?
My name is Atia Kuru.
I'm sorry?
My name is Atia Kuru, calling from Zebila.
Zabila.
Yes, please.
Zabila, what's your name again?
My name is Atia Kuru.
Go,
Yes, please.
go ahead, Zabila. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Go ahead, I can hear you. From Zabila, I can hear you.
Yes, madam. And my concern is that the falling standard of education is caused by some of you teachers. I'm a teacher, all right. Yes, and then some of us, we lost track of the ethics of the profession. Imagine a teacher teaching a student and dating the student. How do you expect such a student to contribute or to learn if you are teaching at that point in time? So you see that at the end of the day, the student becomes your playmate at the expense of their studies, which at the end of it results into something different. So I think it is high time GES looked into their code of the ethics of the profession, always call tech teachers to book, so that they will serve as a deterrent to others who will also want to do that way, since we can go a long way to also help improve this our educational system. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much there from Zabila contributing to our discussion. Parental responsibility. He is saying that the falling standards of education cannot only be blamed at the doorstep of parents. Teachers are a part of the problem. Some of them have lost ethics of the profession. He himself is a teacher. Some of them have lost the ethics. So when it comes to compromising teaching, some of them are doing so because they are literally sleeping with some of the students, and some have become their playmates. How do you teach such a student? How do you supervise to ensure that this child is performing well? That is a challenge for us, and is contributing to falling standards of education. I believe we all agree to that. GES has been challenged in this. We know the issue of Cape Coast. This is also part of the problem, and not, of course, from his assertion, it's not only happening in Cape Coast. The issue in Cape Coast is multifaceted. We heard that from Nana Amba Eyaba at the, I believe she's the traditional authority in the traditional area, Abahima, telling us that the issue of Cape Coast is multifaceted. It's not only one. There's so many angles to it. So, multifaceted. How can we ensure that this issue of parental responsibility is addressed, Mr. Yallow?
Madam, I think we have talked about parental responsibility. Falling standard of since I'm from Cape Coast, I want the GS to do something about it. You know, in the education system now, that most of the teachers, when they came out from the education college, come out with diploma. They place them as under assistant, senior superintendent 2. Before you go to senior superintendent 1, you have to serve for 4 or 5 years. But the opportunity has given to them. If you finish College of Education, you serve a year or 2, you can go to university to obtain your degree, and you come out with principal. You are teachers. And then you know the sandwich program they are organizing, also affecting our college standards. Because the sandwich program they are organizing, the distance education, you know the sandwich, the time the university will open the sandwich, the basic schools are in session. And most of the teachers, because they want to improve their education destiny, they will go to school at the university, Cape Coast or Winneba, and they will leave the children in the classroom. Also, a factor, serious factor affecting our education system. So my suggestion is that the GES will sit down with the university authorities to see how they can organize this program so that it won't affect teaching and learning. Because it happens. Now they have finished. The children are also on vacation. But there's some which we open where the children are. So I'm suggesting this to the GES if they can do something about it. And then the supervision too. When the GES also come out with perfect supervision, the distance education.
Besides all that you have said, on the issue of parental responsibility in this whole thing, because it's the parents who have to make sure their children are in school, and the children are not going to school. They're not remaining in school. I heard you say in the beginning that the Oguaa traditional area is celebrating a 50th anniversary. It's what festivals and all that. And I'm sure that the children, this is a time for them to do whatever. God knows what.
Especially the girls.
Especially the girls. Mr. Yallow, what are you doing in your, it's not only celebrating, exactly on the ground to address this issue of parental responsibility and following standards of BEC in Cape Coast?
So I think the Transitional Council, they have passed so many laws. You see, the laws we pass is just on paper. If you want to implement it, as Madam said, if you want to implement it, you will incur somebody. But my point of view is that we must enforce our laws. We must enforce. In Cape Coast, for example, we are saying that FUNRA, you should not play this system,
PA system,
travel
past a certain time.
at 6 o'clock. The laws are there.
Okay.
But people,
So we must ensure that the laws are enforced. Mr. Avutor, quickly, 30 seconds for you. How can we address this issue of falling standards when it comes to, falling standards in BC when it comes to parental responsibility?
I think we're looking exclusively at the parent.
Okay.
And I would want that our mothers not shift their responsibility.
Great. And then for you, quickly.
I think education is not just about the school structure and the teacher alone. All stakeholders should get on board. Parents and all other stakeholders.
Thank you very much. Education is not the responsibility of parents alone or teachers, or it's a multifaceted approach that we need. Everybody must be on board, and in Cape Coast, it is the responsibility of all. We've been discussing parental responsibility and quality education in Cape Coast. Madam Mary Hammond came to us from Accra here, GES, Girls Education Unit. Moses Kwame, Avutor, an educationist from Cape Coast. Thomas Yallow came to us from Cape Coast. He's an opinion leader from Oguaa traditional area. Thank you all. It's been the curriculum. Make a date with us next time in 2 weeks, where we will be discussing issues again on education in Cape Coast. This program came to us with support from Star Ghana. Thank you all for your time and have a good evening. My name is Rebecca Ife.